Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. It is Sat Chat time. It is our favorite time of week, isn't it, guys? It's the time where we kick off the weekend and we just chit chat, we hang out, we chat in the comments and see what everybody's up to. So if you want to let everyone know what you're working on this weekend or what you're up to this weekend or any projects that you're excited about, let us know in the comments. One of the favorite things I love to do when I meet somebody is ask them what their hobbies are, because I think that's so much nicer than just small talk, like how's the weather, this and that, and it kind of gets you into the meat of their personality. Speaking of the weather though, we just got 6 inches of snow, and it's really neat. I don't know if you ever walk in the woods or not, but I love to walk in the woods, and the last couple of weeks it's been so rainy and warm, which has been great because I enjoy the warmth, but the woods has just been like flooded. You can't pass, and you shall not pass, and so it got cold, and then we got some snow, so you can actually see the paths again, and it's so magical. Like, it's like Narnia, and when you're walking in the woods, these trails do not exist in the summer because things are so grown up, and you wouldn't even know where they were, but in the winter they're magical, and they exist, and you can walk around trees and find your way back, and it's just kind of magical. And so because it snowed yesterday, I'm like, we gotta go out in the woods, and there were no footprints except for animal tracks, and it was just really nice. So it was cold. It was about 16 degrees, which is cold for spring. I'm sorry, spring started this week. It was kind of cold, but I had my ski pants on and winter jacket, and had the dog bundled up and stuff, so it was good. We both enjoyed it. And we're supposed to get another 7 to 14 inches of snow tonight going into Sunday morning, and I'm kind of bummed because, well, for one, it's spring and I'm bummed about snow in the spring, but the real reason I'm super bummed is that my college roommate is supposed to come over on Sunday, and then we're going to drive down to Lewiston and see some of my other college friends who are all going to get together and go out to lunch and whatnot, and I'm super bummed because if we get that awful snowstorm, my old roommate won't be able to come down, and because she's got a job where she has to, if there's bad weather, she's got to be on call, because she works with live animals. And so I hope that the snow does not happen and it blows out to sea and I can see my friends. But other than that, I mean, it's really pretty to look at. But it's spring, man. I didn't even realize it was spring, and then I saw somebody post about it. It was like the night the spring started, on the 19th, because it's a leap year, so the 19th. And then it was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night, I saw a friend of mine posted on Facebook that there was the first day of spring. I'm like, no way, it doesn't feel like spring yet. But, well, actually, it kind of has felt like spring yet, but it doesn't seem like it's late enough for it to be spring. But daylight savings time happens, so yeah, I guess, okay, yeah, it does feel kind of springy. And I've already derailed my conversation. I have notes, though. I have notes today. Probably the most interesting thing that I did, the interesting to you thing that I did this week, and I don't know, some people are like, wow, Lindsay, you live a very boring life, but Lila was home for part of break. She did go on a trip with one of her roommates, and then she came back for the last couple of days of break. And Lila is, well, I've got 3 kids, and they're all creative in their own ways. Lila likes to do more like visual arts and things like that. Maisie's more musical arts. So Lila does a lot of jewelry making, and I haven't really touched my jewelry making supplies for the last couple of years because they've been kind of, I don't want to say strewed. Strewed implies that there's a big mess. It's not really strewed, but I had this, I don't know if you remember back in the day, the company Making Memories, they had this wonderful chipboard box that had you could lift up the lid and there would be all these little cubbies. It was like a velvet flocked type plastic, and then it had 2 drawers that pulled out that also had more cubbies and plastic, and I had all my findings in there, bails and ear wires and head pins and all of that jazz, clasps and whatnot. And she had that in her room, and then she had a bunch of other like just trays of random supplies on top of that, because she would come down, shop my stash, which I told her absolutely use it up because I'm never gonna live long enough to use it all. So she had a bunch of random like bins of project stuff stacked on top of that. She also has a tote, like a toolbox, one of the Creative Options toolboxes at her dorm, with some supplies that she's been using recently. And then I had a friend ship me a bunch of, like, she was really into jewelry making, and then she got out of it. I think she had a jewelry making business actually on the side, and sent all kinds of stuff that I never like incorporated into the stash. I just kind of like set it on a shelf because it was really well organized. And I'm like, I don't think my current storage can accept these new beads and these new findings and stuff. So I'm like, that's just going to stay on the shelf. I can't mentally deal with it right now. But you know, like, Lila, help yourself. Go use whatever you want to use. Because I think she sent it because she knew that Lila was getting into jewelry making and just wanted to make sure that she had a lot of stuff to use, which with plenty of stuff to use. And they were gorgeous things too, and just so very well organized, very broken down to tiny components. Like there might be like a baggie with like 2 beads in it because they matched. And I do not work that way. I kind of need a bit of a bead soup situation happening where I can kind of rifle through my stuff and see interesting combinations as 2 beads kind of shift together in a box and I see them together. It's like, oh, that would look so great. And then I'll like pick out a bunch of things and make a project. I don't follow patterns. I mean, if I bought a little kit, which is highly unlikely, if I was given a little kit that was like, make these earrings, yeah, I could follow the instructions and make those. But generally, when I make jewelry, it's definitely a more improvisational type endeavor, and I just love seeing what I can make out of what I have. I love to see the different stuff kind of mingling together. I like to put things together and see how they look. It's just very, I don't know, it's almost like an abstract art, I guess. I just kind of like pull things by what I feel, by how they look, by how they sparkle. I like to mix textures and colors, and so in order to do that, I kind of need my stuff kind of jumbled together a bit, but not completely jumbled. I like them sorted by color, and that's my sorting. And then like obviously the findings, I like them sorted by material. So like silvers together, golds together, coppers together, and then by type. So head pins together, ear wires together. And you know, if it's ear wires, I would have like French hooks together and fish hook style together and posts together and things like that. So I can quickly, easily find what I need, and I'm not like, I don't want to be rifling through like a bin of just like silver metal things trying to find 2 matching ear posts. But you know, I don't need, like, if I have 2 of this style ear wire and 2 of that style ear wire, like I could put all the silver ones together. You know what I mean? I don't like them. I don't like things compartmentalized that small. So with my bead storage, I like to open up a tray and have like thousands of red beads, and I can just kind of sift through and pick what I want. And so that's what I've got going on now. So what we did was we went through everything. We took everything out of their little baggies, which I know probably horrifies somebody. This probably would horrify the person that sent me these. So hopefully she's not watching. She's like, you did what? You disorganized my organization. But I will use it more. I wasn't using it. If I have to open up a big baggie to get into a little baggie, that's just not going to happen for me. I need to see the juxtaposition of these interesting sparkles and colors and textures and opacities and translucencies together. And as well as a little bit of AB finish on some of them. I need a little metallic. Just like, I love it. That juicy goodness that happens when you see the big jumble of supplies. So we did that. We were able to incorporate all of the little beads and the little baggies into my bead boxes, which was awesome. And then I took all of, like, I keep my natural stone beads separately. I think I have a big thing of natural stone beads that Lila has in school at the dorm. But the natural beads that I had, I put them all in like one container, or like together in like a big container, or a stacked few containers. I don't know. They're in like shallow, flat containers that I can dig through. And then all the findings, so I took all the findings and put them in the boxes that this friend of mine sent. They had a bunch of like individual little almost like Tic Tac type. They're bigger. I can't remember the name of them. They're kind of a popular thing. I see a lot of crafters storing their sequins this way, but my sequins are all in a bin in sequin soup because that's how I roll. But that was perfect because then I can see the containers are clear and they lay on their sides in like a flat tray. Why didn't I just bring them over to show you? Ugh. Anyway, I guess I'll have to do a Room of Hoard update at some point and you'll see them then. But anyway, so I put all the metal beads and findings all together, and I had like 4 trays of them, but I could lay them out on a big table and I could just pick the findings that I need, because when I'm making a necklace or bracelet or earrings or something, I just need the findings. I can just grab them at the end. I'm gonna maybe need some bead caps, maybe some wire, maybe some, and I have all my wire. All my wire was already organized, and all my cords were already organized and together. But you know, when I'm gonna do jewelry, I would just go and I'll just need that one little box with the findings in it. I don't need, or I mean, I can pull the little crimps and the finding and the ear wires and whatever I need for findings, throw them on a tray, grab my boxes of the colors that I need, and then I can open just the boxes of the colors that I want and grab my wire, grab my findings, and then I can sit in my nice heated warm room where I have a chair rather than standing at the table over there. And I kind of learn something about my workflow this week because I was working on some cards because in May, at the end of May, I have some stamps and dies coming out with Craft Stash. They're the people that did my sketchbook floozy stencils, which I know the 9x12s are sold out, and the others, if they're not sold out, they're very close to being sold out because I got the numbers. I know how many they ordered and how many are left. I think we did 1,000. So there's some extras just with like samples and stuff, but 1,000's for sale anyway. So they had asked me before I came out with the sketchbook floozy stencil idea, they asked me if I wanted to do some more products. I'm like, I don't think I have the bandwidth to design anything. But a couple of years ago, I did one of their subscription boxes for their Papercraft Society subscription company, and I loved what I made for that, and I spent so long designing it. Like the weeks I put into that, when I divide up what I was paid, and I knew what I was going to be paid ahead of time, but I just I put so much time into that because I'm like, I want it to be perfect. I want the products to not sit in somebody's drawer collecting dust. I want it to be something you're going to use over and over again. I don't want it to be something that in a year you're going to be like, oh, that's dated, that trend is gone, I'm no longer using that. Like, I'm not putting that into the world. So everything in that kit is stuff that I would use over and over again. It's like, it's kind of got a little bit of a sewing theme, it's got a little bit of a vintage theme, it's got a floral theme, it's stuff you can watercolor. It came with like a little like strip of like Viva watercolors. It was just very timeless. It had that vintage vibe, photo corners, buttons, that sort of thing. And so like, if we could expand on that and make it so people that missed out on the subscription box, because I know people don't want to subscribe just to get 1 month, you know, and they only had so many singles for sale and they sold out immediately. So a lot of people that wanted it couldn't get it. So if we could do something like that and people could pick and choose what they want, so if they got the Papercraft Society box in the past and they don't want to duplicate anything, they can just pick and choose. Like for instance, I wanted to have a library pocket and a bookmark and bookmark sleeve, but that would have been all the dies that I could include. And I'm like, why don't we just put that, why don't we print that template? So I made the template up and I sent it to them. I said, can you print that on the inside of the box so people can just put vellum over the box and trace it and have their template, which worked out great. So I didn't have to use my die up doing that, and then I could have all the other interesting things that would be hard to hand cut, and I want those to be the dies. So they made that into a die set itself. So if you just want the library pocket and the bookmark and the library pocket and the card and the bookmark sleeve, you could just do that. So I just wanted to be mindful of people's budgets, and then I like things that just can be used for different things. Like, so if you're not a card maker, if you're a altar journal doer, or if you're a art journaler, or if you're a scrapbooker, you have stuff that can be stretched to full size. So like for instance, the borders here, the borders that I designed, they can be lined up and you can do a full like long strip of this like eyelet lace that can go on a scrapbook page or on an art journal. And we have a bunch of edges like that that can be repeated, that are very easy to line up and repeat. And so anyway, long story short, I'm the world's slowest card maker. And I needed to do some samples with these because they're going to do a feature in I think it's the May issue of Card Making and Papercraft magazine, because they Craft Stash, the company, the kind of umbrella company that owns that, also owns that magazine. And I had a color scheme I had to work with, which is this color scheme. Really, it's like this pink, peach, yellow, kind of Bahama blue color, and also kind of like a baby blue color. And I was like, boy, I love those colors, but they really don't go with the kind of the vibe of my kind of more vintage or muted thing. So it took me 2 days to make 5 cards, friends. And part of what was taking up some of my time was procrastination. I did laundry yesterday. My husband usually does the laundry on Saturdays. And no, he's like, why did you do laundry today? It's like, I don't know. That's what I do when I procrastinate. I will organize and clean. And I think that's probably partially why I was working on the beads, because I was kind of like, I don't know what to do with my own products with these colors. And then like, but I want it to look really good, because if people are going to buy my products, I want them to have really good ideas to use them for. So anyway, I got my cards done yesterday, and I was thinking of the, oh, and I already forgot what the name of the theory was, but it's that a project or any task or project will grow to meet the time allotted or shrink to meet the time allotted. It's a something theorem, and I looked it up, and I had it begins with a P. I can't remember the name of it is, but anyways, it's like, oh yeah, like it's also called scope creep. Like you start off with one idea, but then you have all this time, so you end up filling the time, like doing extra things to fill the time. Anyway. But I did use my Sketchbook Floozy 5x7 stencil, so if you got those 5x7 stencils, I just took pretty much the layout as it was, and I used it to make that card. So so Sketchbook Floozy stencils are also, you can use them for card making, especially the smaller ones, or scrapbooking, or sketchbooking, which I'm going sketchbooking tonight. I don't know if I mentioned this before, because I've already gone off I haven't even like touched my list. Oh my word. So my daughter has a gig at Chimera Coffee in Bangor tonight, which it will be Friday. It's actually Friday night, because I'm filming this on Friday, and it's a coffee with the creators night. She's going to be playing some acoustic songs that she wrote, and singing and playing guitar. And I don't know if she'll be playing keyboard too, or just guitar, but she'll be performing as one of the artists. I don't know how many artists they have performing, but then you can bring whatever project you're working on. So I'm thinking I'm just going to tuck a sketchbook, and probably like this pen right here, I put like a sepia liquid watercolor in the Shinhao Shark, and I was sketching a bit on this. And I loved how I could sketch with it and then add watercolor to it. I just did a little grit of thumbnails, kind of playing with some more ideas of gritting. And this like almost just neutralizes and goes into whatever. So I think this would be good. Maybe bring like my Viviva color sheets and just a small sketchbook. I have a couple Arteza ones where the sizing has just gone bonkers on, so I kind of like to use them up. So and they're not precious, so don't worry about like wasting them, and I'll just use fountain pen, or maybe an elegant writer. I don't know, or maybe I won't do anything because there won't be time for it, or room to sit, or whatever. You never know, you know. And my friend Karen's gonna come, and we tried to go to. We had such a terrible adventure one day. We were gonna go to a coffee shop. Can't say it. We were gonna go to a coffee shop and like sit and sketch, and there was like no parking, and the coffee shop was like line out the door, and I thought there would be parking in this like sketchy alley, so I drove the big Jeep up the sketchy alley, and there was no parking, and there was like really no room to turn around, so I'm trying to turn around, and I like scraped the front of my car on like the side of a building. It was so bad. I was like freaking out. I was having like a little nervous breakdown. But I think I did mention that in that chat that happened. But anyway, so I'm gonna go do that tonight. I'm really excited for that. And actually this afternoon, oh my, I'm so excited, and gonna like try to play it cool because I'm like so excited. I am interviewing James Gurney this afternoon for the podcast on Sunday. So I'm super excited because he is like my favorite contemporary artist, and I think he's like almost, I don't know, you cannot have a conversation about plein air, gouache, casein, even watercolor with another artist, I don't think, without his name popping up. He's like the artist, right? So I am so excited to interview him. He did the Dinotopia books, and he did a lot of books for painting. He Color and Light, Magical Realism. He has a wonderful reprint of The Artist's Guide to Sketching coming out that he wrote with Thomas Kincaid. He like hopped on a train with him like in his 20s and just like traveled the country sketching. I mean, like a hobo. So dear to my hobo heart. I am very excited to interview him. So you can look forward to that. I almost have to I've been afraid to announce it because I'm like so afraid that he would cancel or be like, I'm not talking to this lunatic. She's a crazy person. This won't be out yet. He won't know that I'm a crazy person because he won't have seen this. Like he watches my channel. No dodging this bullet. No dodging this bullet, baby. So I'm so excited. I'm like giddy. I just gotta like learn to play it cool. I'm hoping they'll just kind of get it all out of my system right now with you guys. So they'll be like, sup, James? I'm so cool. I'm totally not fangirling right now. So yeah, that's what I got going on this afternoon. And oh my gosh, so the Lupin painting, I posted that this week, not doing well on YouTube. So if you didn't get a notification, this tutorial is up. It's an hour-long real-time tutorial. Actually, you get to see how I plan a class I'm going to be teaching in real life. I occasionally teach these classes at my local library, and these classes are great. I really enjoy them. They're a lot of work because there are a lot of beginners coming in and a lot of people coming in that only paint during these library classes. So, and they're all friends. A lot of these people are, they come in with their buddies. So there's a little bit of a, they're there to have a good time. And I'm here to teach them how to paint, and I don't want to like harsh their gig about having a good time getting together with friends. I want to also facilitate that social place, that third space. I want people to feel welcome regardless of their ability or their level of painting, but also I don't want people that are coming in just to paint and to learn to be dismissed because newcomers or beginners need a little more attention. So so that's another reason I also like to have I like to, because whatever I'm going to do, whatever I'm going to teach, I have to either repaint or do something new, because I need to remember those struggles and see what are going to be the sticking points for the beginners, and what can I do before the class to save time for people. And that might be, if something is complex to draw, providing a pattern. For this, the only drawing is the horizon line. So I think I will take my T-square and I will put horizon lines on all the paper first, just to like get rid of that obstacle. And so the librarian actually called me. It was the day this went up. It was actually before the video went live, because I gave her the picture and stuff to make the event for the library group, the library Facebook page. And she called me and she said, Lindsay, I have never seen such a response to a painting before. And I was kind of concerned, and you'll hear that in the video, that people might not want to paint this, because you have to make something. It's a very delicate balance for a beginner class like that. You need to have something that looks enticing enough that people will come and paint. Because people are busy, you know, they've got busy lives. These classes generally happen around 5:15, 5:30, so it's a matter of people, you know, often coming straight from work. They have to make arrangements often for somebody to watch their kids or to pick their kids up from daycare or whatever. So for them to be there, it's a kind of a big ask, because the library is only open till 7, and these classes are generally an hour and a half, and you need to factor time for cleaning up and whatnot. And if it goes over, that means the librarian has to stay late, because she's going to lock up the building, or if there are going to be custodians around, because our public library is actually in the same building as our elementary KK8 school. So if there's custodians around, it's not that big of a deal, because they can, you know, punch in the codes and lock up after you. But otherwise, you know, you got to be mindful of people's time, and also you got to be mindful of the students' time, because they often have to get back home. They may have you know, children to care for, parents to care for. You know, it's just it's a busy season of life for the students that come in for these classes. And I want to make sure that I'm bringing something that's going to be interesting enough for them to paint, but also easy enough for the most beginner student in the group to come home with something that they enjoy. And some of the people have been coming and painting since I started teaching these classes a decade ago, and some people are more newcomers. So you know, it's just definitely like a delicate balance. But the classes do tend to sell out. She said this class sold out, or the day of. She said, and you have to call and make a reservation at the library. You can't just, you can click going on the Facebook page, but it doesn't, you don't get on the list unless you call the library and say, please keep a spot. And they just ask for like a $5 donation, just to, you know, help the library out, because the library funds the, they fund the classes. And so she called me, she's like, the class has already sold out, and I have more than a class and a half on a waiting list. Would you do another class? And so I'm like, yeah, sure, just put me in the next week, same time, same place. And so we're going to be doing that. And I'm kind of excited for that, because, I mean, generally the classes sell out, but usually it's like they'll sell out like a day or two. I say sell out, but you know, they'll have reservations like a day or two. They'll fill up, I should say fill up. They'll fill up like a day or two before the event, but this is filled up weeks before the event. So that's kind of exciting. And also the nice thing about having the video up is that I can say, if you feel like we're going too fast or you're struggling, you can watch the video, and I will lend out my palettes if people want to take them home and return them back to me afterwards. That's totally fine. So as long as I don't have another class coming right up, then I'm totally fine with that. I trust people will get them back to me. So yeah, that tutorial's up if you're curious about how I kind of design a class to teach. I get questions sometimes on people that have been asked to teach at their library, and they don't really know how to go about it, or the pacing or whatnot. So I talk about that in the video too, so it's kind of a twofer. But because it's a long video on YouTube, it's not doing that well. So if you are interested in these longer tutorials, I would encourage you to click it and watch it, or maybe just click it and let it play, because then YouTube will show you the next time I have a long painting tutorial. I've been learning a little bit more about how YouTube recommends videos, and there was a really good video by vidIQ that was posted within the last couple of weeks, and they were explaining it. So basically every channel has a core audience, and once you get, and so I have a lot of subscribers, but I've been on YouTube for 14 years, so a lot of these subscribers have lost interest. They're what you call like invisible subscribers. They've subscribed, but they're long gone. So what it will do is it will take you, if you post a video, it's going to send it to some of your core audience. And so if you're in the core audience, like if you got a notification for this, it showed up on your homepage when you turned on YouTube this morning, the Sat Chat, you're in the core audience for the Sat Chat videos, but you might not be in my core audience for tutorials. So it might show you every time I do a Sat Chat, because you always watch the Sat Chats, it'll always show you that on your homepage. You don't have to go to the sub feed to find it. You should be able to go to the sub feed regardless every day and see everyone you're subscribed to. But as far as like getting a notification on a video or seeing it on your homepage or getting it suggested to you on the sidebar, you would have to be in the kind of a core audience, or YouTube's going to think that this is very similar to something you were in a core audience of. So maybe if you're in a core audience of another YouTuber that does a lot of long watercolor tutorials, you might see my long watercolor tutorials on the sidebar next to their videos. So like I think of like Diane Anton, she does these really long watercolor videos and long compilations where it will just be like 3 hours of different like landscape tutorials or whatnot. So if you watch a lot of her videos like that, you'll probably see my videos show up. And then if you watch another like maybe art vlogger, my Sat Chats might show up on the sidebar of an art vlog channel, just because it's just the content, even though it's the same channel, the content is kind of different. If you watch all of my review videos, you're in my kind of core review audience, so you might not be served a Sat Chat or a tutorial, you might only be served review videos. If you watch a lot of haul videos from another channel, on the blue moon that I post a haul video, which would usually be around Black Friday when I've bought all the things that people have asked for throughout the year to review, then that haul video will pop up and you might be like, Lindsay, oh my gosh, I haven't seen your stuff in years. It's because they haven't served you my content because you're not in my core audience for that type of content, I guess. So it's not like a personal attack like, I don't like her anymore, her channel is trash, I will not recommend it. It's just they recommend the videos based on what they think the viewer will watch, just like ads are served based on your preferences more than the channel you're watching, for now anyway, until all the privacy stuff passes. So that's what I'm gonna say. If you like those longer tutorials, and a lot of people posted on that video, I missed your watercolor tutorials or your art tutorials. It's like, have you been watching my channel? I have a lot of these things coming out, but if you haven't clicked on them lately, and I don't post as many because they don't do as well. So I mean, and it's kind of like chicken and egg. It's like, is it not doing well because I'm not posting as many, or I'm not posting as many because I'm not doing as well? It's hard to tell, you know. But anyway, to say that video is up. So yeah, man, we have just used up the whole darn time not really talking about much, but that's Sat Chat, baby. That's how we roll here. And yeah, you can let me know if anything you want me to expand on anything that I've mentioned, the bead storage, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you want to see. I'll do my best. I can't promise anything because, you know, I get sidetracked so very easily. But I'm living life, enjoying it, hoping it doesn't snow. And let me know what you're up to. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And this has been Sat Chat. What kind of outro is that? I don't know. Happy crafting, friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.